first impressions of Tokyo Ghoul, and I am not gonna lie, that was fun. That was really enjoyable. I want to talk about first how what I thought about Tokyo Ghoul initially, right? Before I even watched this anime in the first place, before I even knew about Tokyo Ghoul. So when I first saw Tokyo Ghoul back then, back when it was like really really popular, I was thinking like this was like some straight up edgy anime. This is the type of stuff like emos or random ass people who are like, oh man, being edgy is cool. Like that's what I thought. Of course that was younger me. Okay, I'm a lot more different now. I don't think in a way like that. Maybe a little bit. Of course everyone's not perfect, but I'm a little bit more understanding. So back then, initially, that was how I thought Tokyo Ghoul was. With all of the human eating gore and even the darker aesthetic of the anime, it led me to think that, oh, okay, yeah, this is probably gonna be one of those edgier anime. But now, first episode, watched it, and surprise, surprise, I actually did enjoy that first episode. We have Kaneki, who's literally an absolute innocent, like bumpkin or whatever. That throughout this whole episode, it was just him trying to find like someone to love. Like he just wants to to go out on a date with somebody. I was a little bit spoiled. I've already seen a few clips of the first episode way back then, so I did put the pieces together and immediately sort of knew that Rize was a ghoul. And I didn't really know how was he how did I just say Tanjiro? Oh, Brody, I'm watching Tokyo Ghoul now, right? The previous anime that I just finished was freaking Demon Slayer. Pretty much, so almost the same concept, bro. You're talking about two animes where it involves eating people. Like, so of course I'm gonna end up messing a lot of names, but yeah, I did enjoy this. Really, really enjoyable. When the opening Unravel came in at the ending of the first episode, I was like, yo, this is freaking good. I mean, I forgot how good of a song Unravel was, right? You look past all of the memes, you look past at all of the things people made fun of, like with Unravel, because of the way you could sing it, right? It pretty much goes crazy. But seeing that at the ending, and then you also get to see Kaneki breaking down in front of Toka, right? Toka's the girl that was in the shop. When I saw Toka, and then I saw the other dude, the 41-year-old dude who was eating another person that Kaneki ends up meeting. By the way, Kaneki ends up describing meat, human flesh, as the same as his mom's cooking. That is insanity, bro. You know the definition of insanity? I'm joking. But yeah, that is wild. That is pretty crazy to me. But surprise, surprise, one ghoul pops up, two ghouls pops up, and a third ghoul, Toka. At this point, by the time I saw Toka, right, the girl, end up turning into a ghoul, I was like, every motherfucker is a ghoul. I wouldn't be surprised if his best friend Hide, right, was a ghoul. Every person's a ghoul. But again, this is really interesting because now we're in the perspective of somebody who's actually going through that process of becoming a ghoul, right? Because so Demon Slayer is a little bit more vivid. Like I can still remember vividly some of the scenes in Demon Slayer, and I could remember that Nezuko didn't really have that level of what happened to Tanjiro, right? Maybe it's definitely a different system, or it's definitely a different effect to them, because it seems like with Tanjiro, he retains, I guess, half of his human brain, but also he now has half of like he's pretty much half ghoul, because his body was transplanted, the organs of Rize, the ghoul, was transplanted to him. Now that was the thing that confused me a little bit, because can't the doctors find out, didn't she die with her tentacles around her? But seeing as how I think they faded away to signify she died, I guess her ghoul traits kind of faded away. And by ghoul traits, I mean her tentacles and all that, and maybe even her eyes wasn't really seen. But that was a little bit confusing to me, because didn't they also say that it's difficult to kill a ghoul? Kaneki just stabbed himself with a knife. But maybe, I guess, if a ghoul is dead, you can dissect them. Okay, yeah. maybe that's how it works, right? Maybe that's how it works. But again, there's a lot of questions now for me to like tackle into this anime that I'm excited to see, because how does the world of Tokyo Ghoul work? Because surely there's a system in place to protect the people. Surely there's somebody out there, an organization, or even a group of people who's out there hunting down ghouls, killing ghouls. Because we get to see a little bit of the system with the ghouls. They have this sort of hierarchy, I suppose, with people having their own feeding grounds, and if you try to trespass into another person's territory, you can end up dead. So that was something that's interesting to me with how that worked. It seems like a lot of them retained most of their thinking. So getting to see Kaneki sort of fight against that way of thinking, trying to get food, it was cool, because this is pretty much how anybody would have reacted to, if somebody turned into a ghoul and then they found out that now everything that they're eating, everything that they've eaten previously, they can't take it anymore, then it destroys them. It mentally, emotionally destroys them. But the one scene that I'm a little bit curious about was when he was eating his favorite hamburger steak. That kind of got me thinking, because I don't see him explicitly vomit the burger, so I'm assuming he didn't vomit the burger, but that's the only one that he can eat because that was like his favorite food, or that was something that had a positive effect on him. So even after turning into a ghoul, that part of him kept, like, the burger was the only thing that he can eat, because that was the only thing his brain can override his ghoul tendencies with. So if he's capable, if his body is capable of doing that, then that is pretty poetic, but I don't think he might have vomited it. I probably didn't catch it, but unfortunate for him. And to see him like break down right at the end along with the music, man, that was crazy. I don't know, that was really, really crazy. But then out of nowhere, Toka was just like, well, if you don't want to eat, I'm gonna just force you to eat one. I'm like, here I am expecting the next few episodes him trying to fight himself, go against this internal battle of him trying to stop himself from eating human meat, and then out of nowhere, Toka just shoves a piece of meat into his mouth. So I don't know what's gonna happen. He's probably gonna end up indulging himself, getting really crazy over it, or maybe he vomits it. Maybe. What if he ends up vomiting like the meat, but then he also like, but he did have a preference for the smell, right? So yeah, he'll probably enjoy it. But that was the first episode of Tokyo Ghoul, and before I go off, I'm gonna do this a little bit more different. So my Demon Slayer one, it was a little bit more difficult to do because I had 4 hours worth of videos to cut and edit. By the time it reached the 30th minute, I couldn't handle it. My laptop was dying. So this time I'm gonna try a little bit more smaller. What I'll do is I'll do one per maybe 5 episodes. Like maybe I'll do this. I'll do 1 episode for episode 1, which is what I'm doing right now, and then another episode or another video on episode 5, another video on episode 10, then lastly another video on episode 12. Or maybe I could chuck in a few videos here and there if a scene compels me, or if a theme pops up in the story, or something happens in the story that really compels me to make a video. Then I'll make a video, and then I'll try to compile it, make it a lot more easier, edit the things that I need to edit out, a lot more easier for me to handle. So that was episode 1 of Tokyo Ghoul. Absolutely enjoy that. I'm surprised positively. Okay, really amazing, really good. But I want to see more. Okay, so I'm gonna dive into this beat. So see you all on like 5 episodes. Wow, I just finished episode 2 of Tokyo Ghoul. I know I said I didn't want to make a video after every single episode, but wow, that last bit around this episode got me emotionally invested. This is the first time in my whole entire life I have ever been emotionally invested in an anime as quick as that. Rarely does an anime get me invested in the first, second, third, fourth, even 5th episode. like it takes me a while to actually get into an anime. It takes me a while to be emotionally invested in the characters. But because we were able to find and see Kaneki's vision, we see his current situation. We know what he's going through. It's so simple, bro. You can imagine yourself with someone close, with a best friend, a girlfriend, or somebody else, a family member. You can envision yourself in the same shoes as him, going through your daily life, wanting to do a lot of things. And then out of nowhere, everything just changes in an instant. Everything just changes. Now, you're hungry for human flesh, but you're fighting against it because you still have that bit of humanity left in you. You're half and half. Me personally, when freaking that bitch keeps on popping up on his head, Rize, I was like, man, fuck this bitch ass, bro. I'm gonna punch the shit out of you, bro. I know you're like a hallucination, a delusion. I don't know what the fuck to even call you, but I would beat the shit out of you. Just get the fuck away from my head. And it's funny because when what's her name, Toka, pops up into the screen, she ends up becoming this sort of moral compass for Kaneki. I'm like, she's the last person I'd ever expect to even have that kind of thinking. To be like, well, what happens, Kaneki? What happens if you eat your friend? You know what's gonna happen. You're gonna regret it. I'm like, you're the last person I expected to talk about shit like that. But there you have it. Helps him out. I'm like, W. I half expected somebody like to do a transplant even for like Hide. I thought Hide was like a little bit, you know, maybe he was too injured, so they swapped his organs with the other dude, you know, the one that he like, the what do you call that, Kagune? So he has Rize's Kagune, and the other guy has a Kagune as well, which is like this tentacle thingy that's wrapping around his leg, like the blue thingy. And then Toka has a Kagune that's like a fire wing or something. I don't even know what the heck that is, but there you have it. He finally has his Kagune, or his special ability. We see it in the second episode. But that wasn't the scene that really got me going. The scene that really got me going was then the realization of what he was actually going through. It's knowing now that he can't be with his best friend because he knows the risks. He knows what happens. He can't control himself. I don't know how Toka was able to do that when somebody's right in front of her. Lots of blood and all that. Can she smell it? She probably has pretty good senses. She's a full ghoul. But look at her being able to not only control herself, but tell Kaneki, Brody, you're gonna regret doing this. I'm telling you right now. I'm like, what? I am impressed. I am impressed with Toka. So, you know, she can have this conversation or speech about her being on a high horse, right? Or not a high horse. That would probably be the wrong way to describe it. But, you know, she kept on saying to Kaneki, like, what do you think of my life then? My whole life has been like this. You know, you being a human and then transforming into a ghoul, and then you just call it utter shit. Like, what do you think of my life then? Is my life shit? That was pretty much everything that she was trying to, like, I guess, point towards Kaneki. But that wasn't it, right? That was neither of those moments. It was the moment when Kaneki was like, he realized he can't be with Hide. He has to stay away with Hide. He has to stay away from Hide because he doesn't know when the next moment he's gonna end up crashing out, and then now he's gonna be like, Hide, give me your balls. I'm sorry. This is very serious. I'm sorry. This is a very serious, like, talk. I want that scene where he was saying that he felt so lonely because he's not a ghoul, but he's also not human. He doesn't want a ghoul. He doesn't want to be a ghoul, but he wants to be a human. He wants to stay human, but he also doesn't want to go into the world of ghouls. Unfortunately, that's how his body is now from now on. He is a ghoul. And the fact that motherfuckers out there were like cosplaying his shit. Like, gang, let me wear an eye patch as well. It's kind of cool, right? But gang, it's his trauma, bro. It's his trauma. You know, or maybe people are genuine, right? People could just say that, yeah, we're cosplaying him because, you know, his trauma, not because it's kind of cool. But yeah, that was really, really good. The second episode, man, I don't know if I can show you the scene, but it was the old man. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry if I'm not keeping track of all of the names here, but the old man, when the old man was saying, And when Kaneki was talking to the old man, and he was just pretty much just he was like, he's defeated, bro. He's absolutely defeated. He just laid his head on like the post of the door, just to get a little bit of rest. He now knows the weight of everything, and it's all tumbling down on him. He's like, he's not sure where he is. He feels alone. He doesn't know if he's a ghoul or a human. He doesn't want to be a ghoul. He wants to be a human, but guess what happens if humans find out if he's a ghoul? They'll try to kill him. But then the old man is here. He's like, I don't know what is up with this old man. This dude, it's like, I really appreciate when anime has that kind of character. When an anime has a character that's wise, like the old guy from here, and I'm sorry if I still haven't caught his name. Maybe he hasn't introduced himself. Or maybe I just didn't catch it. But when you have a character like that who's really wise, or a person like that who's really wise, who sees beyond and still tries to understand you, he knows what you're going through, but he's not gonna be beating you down. I really appreciate a character like that. You have a character like Toka, and I think she is a good person. She tried to stop Kaneki. Oh, she did succeed. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe she gave him a little bit of blood, or the old man gave him a little bit of blood. That's why he's wiping his mouth. I'm assuming that's from a human. Maybe that's from Hide. I don't think they will, though, because that would be way too risky. The moment he finds out how good Hide tastes like... I'm sorry. But that scene was so freaking powerful. When the old man opened up the window, took the curtains out, like, bro, look at the sun, bro. It's so beautiful, man. It's shining into that room. It's so blinding. It's like exactly this. It's this. That was beautiful, man. And the soundtrack, I need to know the name of that soundtrack. I freaking need to know. That was amazing. That was such an amazing scene. You see how hopeless Kaneki is, right? How hopeless his situation is, the hopelessness that he is in right now. But this old man right here, even though he's a ghoul, he understands what he's going through. He still has that emotion of a human being, bro. I really appreciate this old man. I really, really do. He's so freaking wise, and I think that's the type of person Kaneki needs to be around. He needs to be around with somebody like that. So that was really beautiful. And then we also get to see a little bit of Toka in the other room, in the sun as well. And that's probably symbolic. She probably is a good person. So I think she is. I think she is a good person. But yeah, bro. Hey, Kaneki, you're going to be going through a lot of shit. Okay, so you need to steel yourself. You need to make yourself stronger. Okay, you need to go through some shit. Okay, you're not like Nezuko and you're not like Tanjiro. Okay, those guys, for some reason, they're just on a whole different level. They're not humans. Okay, but you're not human either. But you're also not a ghoul. But you're also a human and a ghoul. Maybe he'll be the one to bridge. The thing is, right, when the old man said, this is a little bit more serious. When the old man said that, we're not really, or I didn't think he said we, but he was just trying to tell, like, Kaneki, maybe you'll see ghouls as more than just monsters. I don't know, it's kind of hard to do that because you're still eating humans. I think that's the one thing that's really holding me back from really man, it's really hard to find the words, but it's really hard for me to understand ghouls. It's hard for me to feel for ghouls because what they want to do. They want to eat humans. They want to kill humans and then eat them. And it's almost like they I don't know what to say. Like, they lack why would they even need respect in the first place, right? Why would they even give respect in the first place? So that sort of thing is just really, it's creating a wall for me. That's my wall, right? Maybe that's my wall I have to go through, but it's just I don't feel for ghouls. I just don't feel for ghouls. Not in a way of what they're going through, specifically what Kaneki's going through. I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it. I don't care what Kaneki's going through. I meant like, them eating humans. It's really hard to not think that these guys are our enemies. They are our enemies because they eat us. And it's really difficult, man. It's difficult when you have somebody out there who eats you. Won't you fight? Right? If there's like if there's an animal, a boar, let's say for example a boar, or maybe a pig, or maybe an animal out there, right? A wild animal. Do you think they're just gonna go down without a fight? Let them get eaten by another animal? No, right? But It's gonna be interesting how they're gonna tackle this, because again, for now, it's just difficult to really understand ghouls, other than just they're like us, but they eat us. So to them, or to me, they are enemies. They are just enemies. So call them monsters or whatever, but doesn't change the fact that they still eat us. You could try to switch it on us, saying that, bro, we're not any different. We're like monsters. Yeah, I know. like not like I've been on 20 years on this fucking planet, and I haven't seen shit. I know. Okay? But it just so happens that right in front of us is somebody that's eating us. So what do you want me to do, huh? What do you want me to do? Let's beat each other up, up, while a fucking ghoul is biting on my leg and another one is biting on your leg. What do you want to do? What the fuck do you want to do? I don't know what I was trying to point out there. Maybe someone out there will get it, but oh yeah, I also wanted to talk about something a little bit more, I guess, what was it? A little bit more, I don't know, profound? Is it profound? I don't know. Oh man, I lost it. Frick, I lost it. What was I gonna be talking about again? Frick, man. I want to talk about something. I just forgot. Trying to remember. I don't know. I'll probably remember, and then I'll just record it back. But yeah, that was episode 2 of Tokyo Ghoul. Okay, see you in episode 5. Okay, hopefully nothing too crazy happens in episode 3, 4. Because I am inevitably gonna end up making a video if I do. Like, that scene was just freaking amazing. Okay, I'll see you guys on the next episode. I just found out Uta, the guy in episode 3 that we meet, is voiced by Kishibero. I'm done, bro. I'm done. That's literally 2 anime now where Rohan was. I can't. Oh man. I'm going back. Ooh. Nishio, right? Nishiki, is that her name? Nishiki. Apparently, that's his name, right? Nishiki, that's his name. Really? Wow. Okay. Apparently, this dude, right, who's a ghoul, who apparently is like really into like you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff as well. We literally see him doing it in the freaking, I don't know, is that faculty dorm room, whatever, right? When he was with Hide, they end up meeting him there. He was blending in society, hitting one from the back. Actually, no, technically from the front. And you're telling me the girl that he's going out with right now is a human? Oh, that shit couldn't even be more perfect. So let me guess, she's also gonna die, right? She's gonna die, and then he's gonna crash out. Look, I don't even care. You know what's funny? Out of this whole series, who are the only characters that I care about? I guess a little bit of Toka, right? Kaneki. Those characters. But my gosh, bro. My gosh. I literally have notes on here on my laptop. Like, I had a whole list of what I wanted to talk about. But this one was the biggest revelation out of them all. I had a few ones. let me just name you some of the things that I wanted to talk about, right? I have like 6. I have 6 notes written down that I wanted to talk about. Currently, I'm at episode 5. But this scene, I could have made this video after I finished the episode, but just finding out that this dude is what a human. So funny, bro. Funny cartoons. Okay. Here's some of the things that I want to talk about. I'll talk about it later once I finish this. Once I finish episode 5. But I have 6 things I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about. I remembered what I wanted to talk about when I had my first impressions about Tokyo Ghoul, I think. Or was it episode 2? It was episode 2. I wanted to talk about something and I forgot. I remember now. It was about evolution of life and eating. I literally wrote it like that because I wanted to get like I wanted it for me to remember it easily. So when I read those lines, I'm like, okay, this is what I meant about it, right? It may seem weird now, but yeah, that's my first note. My first note was evolution of life and eating. My second one was about humanizing ghouls. Now, that's pretty self-explanatory. You could see it throughout the whole series, the whole series, and we get to be a part of like this ghoul society, right? I'll be talking about that later. Third one, Sukiyama, right? The dude that was like going crazy. This dude was orgasming to Kaneki, bro. To Kaneki's blood. Literally every time he popped up on the screen, and like other people might call him weird, right? Other people might call him weird, understandably so. Other people might hate him for what he's done to Kaneki. Other people might like him because of his eccentric personality, even though he literally threatened Kaneki's life. But for me, throughout the whole time, whenever he popped up on the screen, you know what he reminded me of? He reminded me of this. Okay, there we go. And then fourth one, I wanted to talk about Yomo, the other guy, right? Yomo Ren, the guy who was picking up the box carrier, like the meat. Apparently, the ghouls, I'm guessing good ghouls, I don't even know how you would describe them, right? Those ghouls who seem to don't want to hunt down humans, go after humans who've already killed themselves, who are like committed server slide, pretty much. And then the fifth one is, I don't care about Rizei's past. Unlike Kaneki, I will never care about Rizei's past. Okay, even if some motherfucker out there in the future shows me, right, what Rizei's past actually looked like, what kind of person she was, I do not give a fuck. Unlike Kaneki, right? But me personally, I don't like Rizei. To make matters worse, I'm not really too attached with any of the ghouls. To me, they feel human with the closed, enclosed, I forgot the term. They just don't feel human to me. Like, they could do human things, but are they really human? What does it mean to be human? Oh my gosh, guys, we're going philosophical. Okay, move on to the next one. Sixth, last note that I had was, I'm still on the humans' side. Even though someone might say, bro, just find a middle ground, or you shouldn't pick any. I'm still at the human side. Right? I'm still at the human. No matter how many fucking monsters there are, guess what? You are a part of being human. Okay, how does that make ghouls any different? The fact that ghouls already act like humans, they will surely be like humans. And what are humans? Fucking monsters. Well, technically, monsters and angels. I mean, that's way too, what do you call that? That's way too big of a contrast, right? So more like gray area, I guess. Would you even say gray area? I don't know. Humans are very, very unique. They're varied. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of different types. There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of middle ones. There's a lot of bad ones. And a lot of them in the mix. So, because ghouls act like humans, they already seem like humans, they will be like humans. It's just the only difference is they eat humans. That's it. Okay, but I'll finish episode 5 first. I just wanted to talk about Nishio having a human girlfriend. That shit's so funny to me. And also giving you some of my notes, which I will be talking about once I finish this episode. Okay, let me just get back to this. So this fucker, Sukiyama, was 18. And apparently, he was head over heels for Toka when she was 14. Are you fucking kidding me? And the moment Kaneki hears that, he immediately has the strength to hit him. Okay, probably didn't mean anything. And why the fuck is it so dark? It probably didn't mean anything, but he was probably distracted. Dude was thinking I fucking hate this dude, bro. I fucking hate this dude. Fucking burn this fucker in hell, man. As much as I would love to laugh at Nishio, bro, and whatever fucking playhouse he's trying to do, okay? Fuck's sake, bro. Whatever. I'm finishing episode 5. I'm on episode 6, and I really do appreciate that the manager of Anteku is he exists. I'm so glad that he does. In the world of Tokyo Ghoul, I don't think you'll be able to find any sort of middle ground but Anteku's middle ground. That's the best you can go for. That literally is the best you can go for, because one side being higher than the other is not gonna end up really well. I guess the system that Anteku has done, which is to get the bodies of those who already perished and serve that up as food, is the best way to sustain any of the ghouls or keep the ghouls in check so that no more human lives will be taken. I think the one thing that stood out to me the most was when the manager said to Nishio that if he stayed over at Anteku, he would pretty much live a guilt-free life as a ghoul. Yeah. So to a degree, I do appreciate that the manager exists. Somebody like him exists. Something about him just gives off this person with a lot of experience and a lot of things that he's seen in life, a lot of things that he's been through in life, and a lot of things that he's thought of in life. I mean, one of the first few things he said was how much he liked humans, and Kaneki was quite surprised with that because he didn't know in what sense he meant by it. Did he mean he liked humans because he ate humans? Or did he like humans because of something about humans? This whole time I've been watching Tokyo Ghoul, the only thing that's in my head was just how similar ghouls are to humans. The only thing that stands out, the only thing that's a huge gap, a huge difference between a ghoul and a human is that a ghoul eats humans. That is it. That is literally it. Remove their hunger and desire for flesh, they would still be a human. They can love like a human, they can rage like a human, they can lust like a human, they can be weird like a human, they can be odd like a human, they can be monstrous like a human. They can be human. Just the only difference is that they eat humans. So, to me, as much as I would feel bad for Nishio and his current situation with Kimi, although now I think it's starting to become a little bit more better, it still doesn't change my stance on any of this. It still doesn't change it. It's, of course, in the world of Tokyo Ghoul, what can I do? What can I do? I don't know. If I were ever placed in a world like that, well, guess what? As a human being, I'm just probably gonna be running around in fear, in hopes of never being a ghoul, or I do end up being a ghoul, but I eat humans, or the fear of being eaten by a ghoul. Right? You'll never find a middle ground, as unfortunate as that is. I think you can. How long are you going to be able to sustain that, though? Because there will inevitably be ghouls who would want to have more. Remember when Ryuze was like straight up massacring people in the first episode? You're gonna have ghouls like that. And so what happens if another one decides to go after the other? Then their whole family, everyone behind them would stand up and then fight the other side. Right. That is what's gonna happen. That is what's gonna happen. And I think they've already mentioned this about the CCG a few scenes before, mentioning that the ghouls have been doing a lot of very coordinated movements, and a war could be inevitable. Ghouls aren't any different, right? Ghouls aren't any different. And here's the thing I'm gonna tell you. Here's the thing I'm gonna tell you. I don't feel bad for ghouls. I don't feel bad for ghouls and their current predicament, nor do I root for ghouls. Because if I say I root for ghouls and I feel bad for ghouls, then what about humans? I root for humans and I root for their survival. But the ghouls eat them. So now it's like, oh well, let's just find a middle ground. Let's just hope. Right? There's enough people out there who commit server slide, right? There's enough volunteers out there who'd be like, well, I want to give a part of my body. How long can you do that? How long can you do that? The thing is, it's always bad to take a side, but unfortunately, every time an anime, a show, a book, a movie, every time they try to blur the lines, every time they try to show you that the other side isn't as bad, the world isn't the same. People will always pick a side. They will always pick sides. They will always pick sides. That's why we'll always have wars. We'll always have a group going against another because they blame that the other group is better than them, because they blame that other group is worse. Because they'll be like, oh, we're better. Morally, we're better. Ethically, we're better. They're worse. They don't know any better. So we have this obligation. We have this responsibility to stand up and tell them that we are right. I'm no different. I'm human. Blow this fucking place up, please. I'm a little deflated. Just finished episode 6. I'm not sure if I want to make the other video that I made. I don't know if I want to post that. So I'll probably just lay it all out here. If you're wondering, am I deflated of episode 6 because of Hinami and her mom? If I'm not mistaken, that was her name. Forgot her mom's name. No, I didn't. It's not because I'm cold. It's not because I don't care about lives. You can't really say human lives, so I just said lives. I tried to find out why I was so conflicted with that scene, and I think this scene was the epitome of all of this. I felt like at this moment something was wrong. Something didn't just sit right. I kind of have a difficult way of putting it into words. Try to think of an example. I do have an example, but I'm not sure if it's the right one. But I guess you could pretty much relate it to that. So, when a company or like some kind of product places on whatever it is that they have, right? Maybe they have a service or maybe a product, and then they slap a photo there, or they slap a text there, right? And the photo they end up using is a victim of a war, of a war-torn country, right? You don't get anything from that picture. The only thing you feel in that picture is emotion. Whatever that emotion may be, well, the picture has already done its job. But you don't get the full thing. Because at the end of the day, the company used it. It's not necessarily being used in a way that would benefit them, but it's trying to sell you an emotion. It's a way to pull you in. Are you really helping them because you want to help them, or are you really helping them because when you saw that photo, you felt bad? You felt sympathy, and then you're like, oh, I want to help. And then you go about the next day feeling satisfied with yourself, knowing you probably don't know where that money went, or you probably could have maybe sent goods, or maybe anything else other than money, or whatever that service may be that indirectly is supporting that company. And this is the sort of thing I felt in this scene. It may not be one-to-one, it may not be the same emotion, it may not be the same meaning I'm trying to show, but at that very moment, I asked myself, if this was a human family being hunted down by ghouls, would you have felt the same? Right? Ghouls, but why would they be hunting down someone like that? Right? They only need one body. Well, let's just say there's a lot of ghouls. It just so happens to be that there's a family there. That's a lot of flesh. That's a lot of meat. You could even store some of it for next time, right? And it'll last you a while. But at the cost of what? You're taking human lives, but you don't really care because you're a ghoul. To them, they're just meat. You don't really care about them. But then now we have a human who's hunting down the ghouls, and it just so happens that they came across a family of ghouls. But the difference being is that these ghouls are not like the same as the other ghouls. They only eat humans who have committed suicide, and that this is a family. You know what I saw in all of that? I think when I saw that whole scene, some kind of bubble just burst. And what I felt about this whole series, what I felt about this whole anime. These are just two highly intelligent species going about each other. It's just that. Two highly intelligent species capable of emotion. Everything else is the fallout of it. Humans fight against the ghouls because they do it for survival. The ghouls hunt down humans because they do it for survival. It's just two hyper intelligent species, which I can fucking guarantee you can never coexist. Okay, this isn't some fucking fairyland where we can just expect somebody to come in, propose an idea, a solution. Guys, we could do this. What if people who want to commit suicide, they can offer up their bodies? People who want to volunteer, they can offer up their bodies for the ghouls. You know, hopefully we can, space that out and keep in check. Like, hopefully the ghoul population doesn't go too high. You could probably be able to have a good relationship with them. Now they won't have to go out, hunt down people, and then, right, they have a supply of food. How long is that gonna last? In a perfect world, you could probably sustain that for a while. For a while. How long? Because you'd hope that maybe they'd be able to do something about it long enough. This is why I wanted in this show to appear some kind of cure. But that's what makes this world of Tokyo Ghoul even more tragic. Because I don't think there'll ever be a cure. I don't think there ever will be. That's the unfortunate state of this world. That's the unfortunate state of Tokyo Ghoul. Of what the people have to go through. Doesn't matter who, ghouls, humans, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, every single one of them is just doing their own thing for survival. And they all try to justify their ways of survival. Right? When, what was his name? Mado or Amon? One of the humans who hunt down the ghouls. Didn't he say that he was sick when he saw that mother and daughter? Let me guess. The majority of people for sure who have seen this exact scene would have felt bad for Hinami and her mom. Understandably so. Rightly so. You feel bad for them. To me, it's just as circumstance. It really is just the unfortunate circumstance of how the world of Tokyo Ghoul is. It's unfortunate. It really is. You can call Mado or Amon again. I forgot what. I think it was Mado. No, I think it was Amon. I think it was Amon, the crazier guy, right? The guy with the white hair. He's just another byproduct of the system. He's just another byproduct of the world of what Tokyo Ghoul is. And what happened to Hinami and her mom, that is just another product of their world. It reminded me of one scene from Attack on Titan. You know what Bertolt said one line that to me is really perfect for a show like Tokyo Ghoul. He says this line, and I'm gonna try to do this verbatim in English translated. So he says this: "That's right, quote unquote, that's right, nobody's in the wrong. There's nothing we could do because this world is just that cruel. It's just that cruel." It's unfortunate with how things are. And I neither blame the ghouls nor the humans. It's just how their world is. Two hyper intelligent beings competing, trying to survive because of their biology. Ghouls need blood, humans meat. Humans need to protect themselves. It's like nature's arms race, but this time we can understand everything. So you know how the arms, I'll probably give you an example of like an arms race. So what would be like a good one? Snakes? Did you know that we humans, and to an extent primates as well, were able to distinguish or be able to find snakes through different environments because of our eyes? We have a certain, I'm not entirely sure, I've forgotten it, it's been a while since I've last read it, but our eyes are capable of finding snakes because we feared them for such a long time. Do we hate snakes? Do you hate snakes? No. Do you hate us for being mad at snakes? Do you hate us? Do you hate humans for being scared of snakes? It's just the same thing. It's just with snakes, they're not exactly the same intelligence as humans. They're not exactly the same emotional capacity as humans. So what happens when you do have a snake that's emotionally capable and intelligent? Well, you get ghouls. You get ghouls. And that doesn't change anything. Everything else in this story is simply the fallout of their biology and their world. No one's right, no one's wrong. It's just how it is. Oh man. And I even wondered why I didn't really feel bad for them. Why I didn't feel bad for the two ghouls. It's not because I felt like Mado or Amon. I didn't feel like that. It's just how it is. Because on the other side of the spectrum, it's a human family being devoured by ghouls. I don't know if it's them trying to sell you sympathy towards ghouls, or trying to emotionally coerce you. Instead of being moved by the scene, it felt more like I was being pushed to feel bad for them. I don't know. Alright, well, I'm going to be continuing watching from episode 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That was going to be the second half. Probably won't upload the video. That bit. Yeah. Well, see you at the end of the series. You know, I actually came back to watching episode 7 thinking, okay, you know what? I've rested for a little bit. I've calmed down. My brain's a little bit more calmer. I'm not letting my emotional self get too distressed. I was letting myself calm down a little bit. In fact, I probably took a power nap. More than a power nap, in fact. It was probably around an hour for me. I decided to go take a sleep for a bit, an hour. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm ready to tackle. I am ready to tackle Tokyo Ghoul and get back into this. A part of me was actually hinging on this one outcome. You see, Hinami was actually able to catch up to Kaneki. And then Kaneki was like, well, where's your mom? I was hinging on the possibility that if Kaneki ever gets in time and was actually able to do something, was actually able to save her, I I probably would have gotten a little bit of hope. Maybe I would have felt a little bit more softer. No. I hate being a cynic. I absolutely do. Yes. Give me a second. Is that even the right description? Is that even a right description? Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. I hate being a cynic. Okay? I don't I don't really know who this author is. So I can't really judge what he is trying to intend here. Right? But if this was again, I've mentioned again and again, and even in Demon Slayer, I think I've mentioned this. When you start molding enemies, quote unquote molding enemies, right? So now what they're trying to do here, I'm simply assuming that they are painting humans as the one who's in the wrong. Well, guess what? If first of all, if Mado, the guy who seems to be crazy, never existed, instead it was Amon, and then he just took out the mom, but he didn't say all that shit about, oh, I want to see your despair and all that, because let's be fucking real here. What human would say some cringe ass shit like that? Someone who definitely never had a job like that. Someone who's never been in a line of work of that kind of shit would be saying that out loud. But let's be real here. No one is going to be saying those words unless, of course, you're like some guy and like, I don't know, you're torturing somebody and you'll probably say that type of shit, right? But someone who's reputable, who's gotten to the ranks, to the top of that, and is now handling very dangerous weapons, you'd expect them to be a little bit more calmer, to be a little bit more professional. There you go. That was the right word I was trying to find. Professional. You know who embodied professional in that scene? It was Amon. Bro didn't even spoke. That's how it's supposed to be. I've already understood the limits of this story. It's that I can't let myself be too carried away just because I see a mother and daughter being hunted down by humans. And so now what I'm going to end up doing is like, oh man, right, I'm going to feel for these ghouls. Well, the whole time it was just humanizing ghouls. Nothing against it. I have nothing against with them trying to humanize ghouls, because guess what? I guess in the end of the day, that's what they are. They are just humans hungry for flesh. For human flesh, to be specific. That's the only difference that they have. I've mentioned in the previous video that ghouls are no different to humans. You strip away that need of them to eat human flesh, they still are humans. There is definitely a crazy human. I mean, the first one to land a hit on Hinami's dad was a demon. You know what else is happening here? It's just the top of the food chain hunting down the bottom of the food chain. And guess what happens to people at the bottom of the food chain? Who tends to be at the bottom of the food chain? Those who are easily manipulated. Those who are easily taken advantage of. And that was just Hinami's dad. Those people who tend to be, quote unquote, softer, who lack the instinct of somebody who would kill, would be the first ones to be taken out. And that was Hinami's mom. But then what happens, right, if we switch this, if we flip it, as I've mentioned, I think I've already mentioned this in a previous video. What if this was in the perspective of a human? Right? I've already looked past this as just, okay, let's try to find a middle ground. I've looked past that already. I've told myself, bro, okay, what happens if we do find a middle ground? Well, let's set up like systems. Let's set up some sort of way to feed the ghouls to find a middle ground so that, hey guys, let's coexist. Shit's never gonna be happening. Shit's not that sweet. Even if you were to tell me, oh, we could try to do like maybe go to like suicide centers and all that, and then people are willing to, those people who commit suicide, and then those people who are willing to volunteer. Let's just you know put a system in place so that instead of them, their lives being quote unquote wasted, could be given to ghouls so that they'd be eaten. What happens if they don't want to? What if there's a problem with the food supply for the ghouls? What if they don't get enough? What if they do get enough for a short period of time, but then they get greedy? What happens to the humans? How would the humans react when they realize that now they're being compared to cattle? So it's all just going to end up resentment, fear, anger, rage from both sides. At the end of the freaking day, there's nothing you can do about it. There is literally nothing you can do about it. Fortunately, in the real world, we can always find a middle ground. We can always find a middle ground because luckily we don't eat each other. We can try to find solutions to improve our crises. Unfortunately, with ghouls, they don't really have that much options. How much more can they do? They can't eat animals. And even if they were to find a way to put a system in place for them to eat humans, how long is that supply going to last? How long are the people going to think, oh, well, we're being treated like cattle? Because these are two sentient beings. These are two beings highly intelligent, and a lot of things could be placed in their mind. A lot of doubt, a lot of skepticism, a lot of fear could be placed into their minds. Ghouls are no different as well. They can still be scared. They can still be planted with negative seeds in their mind that would tip the scales. So they're no different. It's like what's the solution now? Because I really don't see a solution here. I really don't see a solution. I'm trying to look past it now than just me feeling bad. Because, I think I need to explain a little bit, right? Because people might seem like, oh my goodness, bro, did you just say you didn't really care about Hinami and like the mom? I think the previous video that I made, that was just me being so freaking emotional. I'm trying to like just cut the root of the emotion. And that was me just feeling bad, right? Because of course you don't like seeing someone vulnerable being killed. Especially somebody who wasn't intentionally hurting anybody. Even though they eat humans. Right? And now you have this comical villain right in front of you who's Mado. Whoa, holy shit, everything's in line. But what happens if the guy in front of them was more professional? Right? What happens? There's only so many Gyus Tomiokas will have. If you know, you know, right? If you've seen Demon Slayer, there's only so many Tomiokas we could have. And there's not a lot of them. So what's gonna happen is they're gonna take her down professionally. Because that's how it's always been. Okay, unless they try to contain her, which they probably should have been doing in the first place. Studying the ghouls. No. Let's just keep on hunting them down until there really is no solution, you know? There really is no solution. There is one solution, though. We could go absolutely mutual assured destruction. I mean, it is kind of funny. The other dude's name was Mado, right? Mado, the freaking mad scientist looking guy. His name is Mado. It's like mad. It's like the Japanese way of saying mad. Mado. I'm still Mado. Stop. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. That sounded so insensitive even after everything that's happened in this series. But yeah, as I've said, I've already way past this. Like, I'm sorry, if this whole scene is like some kind of driver for me to become even more close to the ghouls, to make them feel so humanized that they can feel almost every other emotion that humans, well, guess what? They'll also be doing the same horrors that humanity has done. You try to paint humans here as some sort of villain. Well, what happens if both of them still end up being in power? What if ghouls, okay, now the ghouls are on the rise. So now what happens? It's like every single time, it's like, oh man, oh, it seems like good is rising up. And then, psych, bitch, someone's in power. Now they want to wipe out all of humanity. Or maybe turn humanity into cattle. Make us subjugated into animals. Right? And the labels along with it, because a lot of people are like, yeah, we're technically animals. That's what I'm trying to say, right? But we're gonna be treated like how we treated animals. Well, saying we is kind of stupid, isn't it? It's like you're trying to invoke some kind of regret for other people who probably took care of a lot of animals. So shut the fuck up. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay. I don't know. My mind's juggling a lot of thoughts, a lot of emotions. That's why I'm acting like this. But what happens then? Right? Being moved around like cattle. Freaking things on our necks. And then feeding us, forcing us to reproduce. How does that fucking sound? You fucking imbeciles, man. I'm finishing episode 7. Calm down. Those are just hypotheticals, man. They're not real. They're not real. They're not real. They're not real. Let's go back. Let's go back. I can't help but smile. I cannot help but smile. Toka just killed one of the doves, or one of the employers, one of the employees of CCG. For a second I was telling myself, just do it. Just do it. Let's continue this, Toka. Let's continue this so that each and everyone's hatred, they fight you, you fight them. There's only one outcome I see out of this. That's fucking kill each other. How does that sound to you, Toka? How does that fucking sound to you? Let's wipe each other out. I'm up for it. I'm up for it. Okay? I really am. Because there's no end to this until one of them wipes each other out. It's either you will get wiped out first, or we get wiped out. Right? So make your choice, Toka. Make your choice. And I did. And I did see you make that choice. All I can say is thank you. Thank you. Absolutely thank you. For a moment I thought Amon was going to start feeling for the ghouls. Right? He saw that orphan as he was going out. Or maybe that orphan, the reason why they became orphan was because of a ghoul. Isn't that fucking poetic? Isn't that fucking poetic? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. You know what I'll tell you? I say let it all burn. I'd let it all burn, honestly. I'd let it all burn. That would be absolutely perfect. That would absolutely be perfect. Let me just finish. Because Amon's now, he saved one of the employees of CCG, so let's get back to it. Wait, what the fuck did Toka mean when a ghoul like Hinami or Ryoka gets killed unprovoked? Harmed unprovoked? How about the other humans? What happened to them? The ones that you're feasting on. The ones you're absolutely loving to eat. Right? How many fucking times am I gonna tell you again and fucking again? You eat us. It's as simple as that. You probably eaten your fair share of humans as well, right? When you were a ghoul. I can't instantly assume that you've just eaten somebody off of the street, but guess what? Somebody like Rize did. He was about to eat a young man's life. But how about all the other people, all the other young peoples that their lives were taken of, their lives were taken from other families? It's almost like I'm trying to be understanding. Okay, I'm trying to feel bad for. I'm trying to feel for the ghouls. I'm trying to understand your situation, right? Unfortunately, the fucking humans have a devil on their side. You know when like when Flock was talking about an Attack on Titan, we need a devil, we need a devil. It's gonna be Eren, it's gonna be Erwin. When he was talking about that, spouting all that shit, well, guess what? In this universe, it was this guy. His name is just Mado. It's unfortunate, okay? It's unfortunate. But guess what? On your side, on the ghoul side, you have your fair share of fucking devils as well. It's no different. These people are no different, bro. It's like every single time. Like I try to lie to myself. You gotta, feel for the ghouls. You gotta. Time and time again, they've been trying to humanize the ghouls, and even for a moment, you got a glimpse of their life. You got a glimpse of their life when they're not running from like humans, when they're not being hunted down by humans. You get to see that they all live like humans, albeit they have a little bit of a different lifestyle. They just have humans in their diet. But guess what happens? It all ends the same, doesn't it? It always ends up being the same. Someone is bound to perish. Doesn't matter who it is. You could be the most kindest of souls. You can be the most earnest of people, right? You're just doing your job. You think you're doing your job because, wait, guess what? I have a family. I joined the CCG because I want to protect my family from those ghouls. Because they look at my family as meat, as flesh to be eaten, to satiate their hunger. So, do I not have a choice to go join the CCG, to be a part of the human effort to protect my family and other families as well, their children? So now when that script is flipped, right? When now it's like, oh, I gotta feel bad for the ghouls, right? Well, it just so fucking happens that you have a knack for us. Absolutely amazing. And I said again and again, what end is there to this? I don't understand. I literally do not understand. What end is there to this? Even if you try to set up some sort of system to feed these ghouls, oh, the suicide victims, the people who would probably volunteer to give their bodies, what happens then? How long can you sustain? There is no middle ground in this world. There will never be a middle ground in this world. And it's just unfortunate. It really is just unfortunate. I cannot find a middle ground in this world. I'd love for somebody to find a middle ground in this world. I genuinely would, because I'm not smart. I want someone out there. I need someone out there who's smart, who can find something. Maybe researching the body of the ghouls could probably give us some insight into preventing them from actually feasting on humans. But guess what? It's a part of their biology. It's a part of who they are. They need humans because it's nutritious to them. They need humans because it's a way to function. It's unfortunate. It's absolutely unfortunate. I think the only reason why Kaneki's able to hold off his hunger is he could have a few bits and pieces of human flesh, of human blood. Right? But he wants to retain his humanity. He doesn't want to eat or kill a full human. So he's like, okay, well, I'll just eat a bit. So and that is probably enough for him. For ghouls, they need one whole human. For him, it'll probably just be a bit, and he could last that way for a month. But then what happens the next month? He's probably gonna need another part, another bit of blood, just to satiate his hunger. It's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate, and I feel for them. But that's the world of Tokyo Ghoul, isn't it? That's their world. It's either them or us. It's as simple as that. There's no middle ground you'll find here. There really is no middle ground. Unless there's some kind of revelation in the future and that ends up happening in the anime that gives us a little bit of hope that could probably push humanity and the ghouls to live to live together, be able to live together, but I doubt we'll ever find that. I don't think they'll ever be. Oh, I'm so fucking excited. I am so fucking excited. I'm so excited. I've never been so excited in this show. Holy fucking shit, bro. This is it. This is it. The clash of ideals, a clash of ideologies, the clash of worlds. We now get to see it, as cool as it is. We get to see Kaneki's mask, but Amon. Oh my gosh. I'm fucking excited. I'm very excited. I'm excited. And out of all of this, I'm looking forward to what Amon's about to do. I really am. I think this is shaping up to be fucking amazing. I'm human, gang. I'm sorry. Like, at the end of the day, even if I know that there are going to be lives taken on the other side, even if I know that innocent lives will be taken on the other side, because there's only so much we could understand about them. If that Mado dude never popped up, we could have probably taken, the mom and then tried to, like, talk to her. That's the best, right? That would have been the best. Diplomacy. It's always going to be diplomacy. It's always going to be diplomacy. And then if they agree to, like, can we, like, study you for a bit? Like, we're not going to try any invasive procedures, blah, 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 blah. If Mado never did that, then I probably would have never been in this state. But unfortunately, that's what he did. His actions led to this. And so now, I am human. I'm human. And I'm excited to what Amon is about to do. Because he really has seen a lot of the things that has happened. He knows how many children's parents have been lost to the ghouls. Orphans. Okay? And it's not fucking great. So, on the ghoul side, right, we have Hinami, but on this side, we have tens, 50s, hundreds, possibly thousands of orphan children. How different are they from Hinami? How different are they, right? I'm just simply, as archaic as it is, as tribalistic as it is, I am picking a side. I am picking a side. Even if they lose. Even if they lose. Because I really don't think there's any other way here possible. Unless Amon decides to switch sides, realizes, oh my gosh, guys. No, in reality, the ghouls are all great. And then what's next? Let's look a little further. It'd be nice. Even if it could give us maybe a few years of peace, right? What happens to the next? What happens to the others? I'm excited. I'm very excited to how this goes down. We'll see if Amon ends up having a moment where he realizes, oh my gosh, the other side also has children. But hopefully, he doesn't falter, or not necessarily falter, but hopefully he doesn't end up realizing that, oh, it's the CCG's fault. Well, what happens to his coworker? What happened to his coworker? What happens to the hundreds of children who've lost their parents? What happened to the families that have lost loved ones? Right? And I hope he remembers that. I hope he remembers that when he's fighting his enemies, because that's just how cruel this world is. Me personally, I'd let it all burn, man. I'd let it all burn. Dear departed. Holy shit! Holy shit! Are some of you fuckers tone deaf? Whoa. Help me understand you. Why are you killing Ryoka-chan? Why are you killing all of these people? Why are you killing all these ghouls? Ghouls have feelings too, guys. Ghouls have feelings too. Guys, why are you killing them for no reason? Why are you killing ghouls for no reason? Why? No reason. Do I have to spell it out for you? Do I fucking have to spell it out for you? It's almost like the whole premise of this show was just forgotten. I don't think you're fucking remembering, Kaneki. I don't think... Especially Toka. I understand she's still young. Therefore, she hasn't known that much. She's yet to see much of the world. And so am I. I will admit that. Right? But is it... Can't they see? Kaneki keeps on yapping about, oh my gosh, why can't the humans see? Why can't they understand? Why can't they understand that these ghouls have feelings too? That they're innocent? That they're... Are you fucking blind? It's the very fucking reason, the same reason why you have been struggling with yourself and what you eat. Time and time again. You started to question Amon's, what he said, right? Amon said something that you questioned. Ghouls are apparently corrupting the world. In your opinion, they're not, right? They're not corrupting your world. Well, I'm sorry to say this, but they are corrupting the human world. They are a part of the world now. Ghouls are a part of planet Earth. They're simply a predator for humans. But it's not like humans can't defend themselves. They're not just gonna be like cattle. That's the big difference. You are hunting down a smart... It's like the same thing with the predators. Predators came from space. Predators, an alien race. You know the predators, the predator movies? You know that? It's just the same thing. They're just as smart. They hunt us down. They play with us. They don't eat us like ghouls do. That's the big difference. Ghouls, to us, are predators. To them, we are food, sustenance. For them to continue on living because they can't hold themselves. That's the difference. That's the difference. It's like Kaneki. How many times do I fucking have to tell you? How many more children are going to witness their families being torn apart? Witnessing their fellow family members being eaten, munched down, to see that sight. How many more? I'm sorry, Kaneki, but it's just a simple question of ultimately who do you side with? Because there is no... The problem is I can't find. You can find a moral ground. Oh, ghouls can also be like humans. Why can't they coexist? Why can't ghouls just work in the same place as humans do? Why, Kaneki? Why? Can you answer me why ghouls cannot live with humans? The same reason why you almost ate Hide? For fuck's sake, bro. How many times do I have to fucking tell you? I'm only simply answering because I, myself, am human. I can feel for Hinami-chan. Right? I can. She's just a child. But you know what's absolutely unfortunate? That she was born a ghoul. I don't exactly know how the bodies of ghouls work. Maybe ghouls can reproduce between themselves, and if they could, you know what the fuck will happen. It's either you or them. Because yap all you want about coexisting. Yap all you want about finding a middle ground. Yap all you want about trying to find a solution so that humans and ghouls can coexist. Answer me. Because if we don't try to find a way, and as harsh as it sounds, experiments, studying ghouls, I don't know how far you'll go with the experiments. If you're going to go invasive, and that means there will be ghoul lives that will be taken. But at the end of the day, they will hunger for human flesh. They're not like the demons in Demon Slayer. The demons in Demon Slayer, yes, they eat humans, but you can see that Nezuko can hold herself off. With Kaneki, I don't think so. He's half. He has that luxury to be able to say, oh, you know, I could eat a bit. I could probably have some in my mouth just to hold off the taste, hold off my hunger. But what happens if he loses that? What happens if he doesn't have a pillar to stop him from doing that? What if Toka wasn't in that scene? Again, you know, when he was almost close to eating Hide, what would have happened? It's a different type of hunger that is from Demon Slayer. The demon's there, Nezuko can hold herself off. When you see how a ghoul hungers in Tokyo Ghoul, it's a different level. They go absolutely insane. They say the most craziest shit. When what's his name? When Nishio. When Nishio ends up being hungry to his girlfriend Kimi, he said something crazy, right? He said something crazy. That's what happens to ghouls in Tokyo Ghoul. It's different to the demons in Demon Slayer. Unfortunate. It really is just unfortunate. This is how your world works. You know, and I'm glad I don't live in the world of Tokyo Ghoul, so I don't have to experience this kind of shit, because I already have enough moral, ethical problems I myself as a human am dealing with. Right? But at least I don't have to worry about the ethical and moral dilemmas involved in the world of Tokyo Ghoul. But I will say that now my stance is I absolutely side with humans. Absolute. Even though I've seen everything now from, or not necessarily everything, but I've seen a lot now in the world of Tokyo Ghoul, and all these characters creating relationships with each other, right? With Toka, with the Ate Taku, I forgot the name of the freaking restaurant or cafe, that place, right? They've been humanized. We get close to them. We get close to Kaneki. We understand Kaneki, and then we also understand the world of the ghouls. But unfortunately, I'm not a ghoul. I'm a human. And the only thing I see ghouls are people who need human flesh. Need human flesh. It's unfortunate. It really is just unfortunate. I just finished episode 8. You know, I did say that I wasn't gonna do a video per episode because it was already difficult for me to edit. I get passionate sometimes. I get really passionate. This was a very good episode. This was a very, very fucking good episode. I think it just solidified even more what I think about. Let me talk in terms of the world of Tokyo Ghoul. I think I've solidified even more what I'm willing to stand for in this show. I know Kaneki is standing right in the middle of everything, and I still do think that if somebody out there were to study the ghouls, we could potentially find something. And I hope, I'm still holding on to that hope that maybe somebody out there will be able to find something that can make humans and ghouls coexist. Because they're not different to any of us. It's just the only difference. It just so happens that they have a preference. I don't even want to say preference. It's like saying I have a preference for meat. I have a preference for vegetables, for fruits, for other kinds of food. No, they're not humans in terms of what they eat. And it's interesting what Kaneki was already able to see, that this whole chain of grief needs to end. And I'm glad he saw that. Of course, he's already human and a ghoul, so he sees both sides. He tries to get his point across to Amon, but there seems to be a problem with it. Of course, he's gonna have a difficult time giving it to Amon, making Amon understand. He kept on asking, "Why won't you understand? Why won't you understand as well?" My biggest finding in all of this was when he started to lose himself. And he was holding onto that railing right beside the river. And he was just so engulfed in that hunger to eat meat, human flesh, that he pounced on Yomu. He pounced on Yomu. He lost himself That wasn't his human side, was it? That wasn't his human side. That was his ghoul side. Because that ghoul wanted to indulge in flesh. Although he did say a particular comment that I noticed. He said about something about self-indulgence. How is it self-indulgence when ghouls need flesh? They need human flesh. It's sustenance. It's nutrition. It's the reason why they can keep going. Because they need human flesh. It's so odd when Toka says that this is just how our bodies are. This is just how we are. We eat you. Why can't you understand that? What do you mean? What the fuck do you mean, Toka? You eat us humans? How many? You know what? You know what? We can just give you every single person who's probably watched this anime and was like, I'd be willing to give my go. Go volunteer your flesh to them, right? I don't mind. Hell, maybe you'd even be like, well, you know what? I'll probably have a child and then I'll probably ask them if they want to. Morbid, I know, but there's going to be people out there that's like that. So then what happens? As more and more people diminish, more and more people who would be willing to give their lives for ghouls, more and more people who initially wanted to give their lives to ghouls, then they get eaten, but then now there's a decline of them. So what happens? Now they'll start encroaching in society once more, and then they'll eat more. And it'll only be a matter of time before they eat and hunt down humans without prejudice, without whoever it is. They will just eat anyone. It could be a mother, it could be a father, it could be a brother, it could be a sister, it could be a girlfriend, it could be a friend of yours. It could be a child. What is stopping them from stopping their hunger? Right? Because this is different. This isn't like Demon Slayer. To me, this hunger that they have with the ghouls, it's a different level. It's not self-indulgence anymore. They don't eat because, oh, you know, we want to eat human flesh. No. They eat because they need it. And as I've said, I've already stood very, very firmly on where I stand. I still remember what Taka said, right? She said, this is just how our bodies are. Well, this is how me, a human, is. If only each side was willing to study each other, if only ghouls were willing to, you know, if only humans were willing to, you know, it's just the same, isn't it? I'm still hoping that maybe one day humans decide to study ghouls, find a way to prevent them from eating any more humans. Because you'll only find so much who would be willing to give their lives and be eaten. There's only so much of them. But I can guarantee you they will not be enough. They will never be enough. It's just unfortunate. That really is just the world of Tokyo Ghoul. I know Kaneki Ken wants to find an answer. He wants to find a solution because he thinks he's in the middle of everything. Right? And I applaud you, Ken. I really do. Because you're actively trying to find a way how to find that middle ground. But you see, here's the problem you overlook. It seems like it's hard for you to understand that for a ghoul to live, they need human flesh. And there's only so much that a ghoul can live on. There's only so many humans that could give their lives, or who have died, and give it to ghouls. As I've said, it's only them or us. It's them or us. It's them or us. Fuck, one thing I realized with a lot of these fucking animes, no. I'm moving on to the next video. Or episode. I'm a little bit deflated. I'm a little bit deflated, but I just wanted to get this point across. I really am thankful for Hinami-chan. I really am. I think it's really. How many times am I gonna fucking say it? It's really just unfortunate. It really is just unfortunate the world that she's in. I'm so glad. I'm very, 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 very happy that she looked beyond than just revenge. A kid is not meant to kill. The fact that even Toka even fucking enticed a child to I don't know. I'm lost. I'm absolutely lost. I really I really do feel sorry for Hinami. I really do feel sorry the world that she's in. It's just unfortunate. It's just fucking unfortunate. Toka is no different from the Mado guy. Really reminds me of that one scene from Attack on Titan. When Eren was talking to Reiner and he was like, you know, Reiner, we really are the same, you know? They really were the same. I'm on episode 9, so I'm just finishing that up. Eren voices Toka's brother. And he's talking about he's not like the same as those peace addicted wimps. Like those from the 20th Ward. It's the same. It's the fucking same. It's the same. It's just the same thing, bro. It's the same game again, Eren. Isn't it the same game, Eren? Isn't it all just the same? This world and the next world still the same? It's like this fucker is always haunting me, man. This fucker is haunting me, bro. He's in Demon Slayer as well. He's in Demon Slayer. Eren's in Demon Slayer. And now he's here in Tokyo Ghoul as well. And he's talking about hating people who are into peace. You know, maybe this time Eren doesn't have an army that can try to convince him. Maybe he doesn't have any other option here as well. The same thing in the other world. I'm fucking tired, man. I'm tired. I really am tired. It's the fucking same game, bro. It's the same game. And let me guess, something happened with their family, and so this is why Ayato is acting like this? It's the same thing. It's the same thing every damn time. I'm tired. I really am. Oh, episode 10, guys. Episode 10. I'll be watching it tomorrow morning. I'm going to bed. I'm tired. I'm tired. You know, I would have been happy whatever choice he picked. Whatever choice Kaneki picked. Well, let me retract that. I don't want to say happy. I want to say I am fine with whatever choice he picked. I was absolutely fine. And it makes sense. He was broken. It definitely affected his mind, and Rize was no help either. It's very odd how she could speak in a position of higher whatsoever. You could think of morality. Would you even call that morality? Higher morality? Higher stance? No, this whole episode, episode 12, was sort of a fight between ideals, a fight between beliefs. 10 and 11, they didn't really, I couldn't really think much about them. Really. I mean, aside from the fact that maybe I could have commented on how the CCG handled the whole operation, how rash Anteku was, the side of Anteku, the faction of Anteku. But this whole episode was, I mean, to say the least, it was interesting. But I was fine with whatever choice Kaneki picked. I was absolutely fine with whatever he took. I was pretty much telling myself that if he decided to let loose, forfeit everything, then I would be fine with it. But if he decided to stand with his ideals, then I'll be fine with it. If he continues to make himself drunk over the idea that he'll never let Rize take over him, then go ahead. I will not judge you for that decision. It is your world. It is their world. The thing is, it's so funny when Rize was talking about how weak Kaneki's mother was. Maybe she's speaking in a way that it was factual that Kaneki's mother was weak, not really in a sense that she was berating or making fun of her. I assume. But again, who is she to speak? Who is Kaneki to speak? Who is everyone else in this story to speak? The reason why every single person in this world, in the world of Tokyo Ghoul, acts like this is because they live in this world. They live in that world, in the world of Tokyo Ghoul. They live in a world where it is absolute cruelty. It's unforgiving, and it won't let them be who they want to be. They are forced, their hands are forced, their decisions are forced, because if they don't, guess what happens? They lose their life, or someone they love loses their life. But who are you to speak? Who are they to speak? Who is Rize to speak? Who is Kaneki to speak? Who am I to speak? What they should do for their world, how they should think in their world, how they should act in their world, right? Who am I? I hate every single one of these fuckers. I really do. Every last one of them. All of them are simply the result of the system of this world, the reason why they act like this. Alright. The guy, Jason, the reason why he's doing this, because someone else did it to him. But guess what? The guy who did that to him probably had somebody who he knew tortured, killed by a ghoul. I don't know if I wanted to release or add the video as well in here, because I had one that I was thinking of cutting out, but I think Kaneki already is a ghoul. I think he is a ghoul. That I am not. I don't want to I don't want to tell him what he should do if he wants to be a ghoul. And if he acknowledges that this is how the world is going to be, he's picked his side. Right? It's as simple as that. Of course, there's always going to be the nuances of different people, different ghouls, different humans, different beliefs, different ideologies, different everything. But it doesn't change the fact that they're all just part of the machine. They're all just a part of the wheels of the world, the cogs of the world. I still do believe that this world that they live in is just predator and prey, two sentient beings who kill each other. One finds sustenance in the other, one defends itself against the other. This is no different than a wolf hunting down a sheep. A wolf is far more aggressive, more powerful than a sheep, but a sheep learns to adapt in its environments, move through different environments, move in herds, move in packs, develop some kind of defense using horns, rams. It's no different. The only reason why it feels like everything in this world is bigger than it already is because they can think. A bunch of fucking animals who can think. But we're not any different. We're just a mirror of the humans in this world. But we're no different. It's biological. It's how the way things are. I did not expect that Kaneki would end up picking or choosing. He was holding on to this idea that he knew both sides. He was human and he's now part ghoul. He can see both sides. He wants to end the suffering of both sides. I don't think the world permits that. I think I was holding on to the idea, to the hope that maybe if he does end up making both sides understand each other, even how small of a hope that is, that could be the first step to maybe understanding each other. And that could lead to further advancements in studying the ghouls, how they work. Maybe set things in place, maybe rights for ghouls, more rights for humans as well, for ghouls and humans to coexist, systems in place to be put. How do you feed ghouls? Maybe suicide victims, maybe people who would be willing to volunteer their bodies. The only reason why they act like this is because they're intelligent. The only reason why they act like this is because they have consciousness. They are emotional. I don't know. Everything to me just seems like survival. Everything to me just seems like survival. It, that is literally how I see the world of Tokyo Ghoul. Beyond than just the relationships that these characters have with each other, beyond just the nuances of different groups and factions, beyond than just loving someone, caring for someone, being weak or being strong, who has the ability to be strong, who has the ability to be weak, who is weak, what defines somebody who is weak. There's a reason why those people exist, don't they? There's a reason why Kaneki's mom exists in the first place. It doesn't change the fact that they were born into that world. Who are you to speak for their lives? Who are you to speak for what they felt in their lives? Who the fuck are you? I don't know how to say or even describe what Tokyo Ghoul is. I think I want to look past the I want to look past the thoughts of whether it's a good anime, it's a bad anime. I think I think I'm way too preoccupied with so many thoughts than just it's a good anime. Oh, it's a bad anime. Oh, it has a good soundtrack. Or the animation's decent. Well, the characters are cool. Oh, no, no. I am too bothered with way too many thoughts in my head. I do think Kaneki picked, and I think he is a ghoul. Although I don't exactly know what his ambitions are, could ultimately shape the future of their world, shape the future of humanity, shape the future of the ghouls. He wants to keep on protecting Anteku. Well, guess what? That's the family that you chose now. If I can be a little bit more rash, I want to comment something a little rash. I absolutely fucking hate Rize. I really, really fucking hate her. To my fucking bones, I hate her. Fucking hate her. And then his utter reliance towards her. He may not he may not coexist with her. He may just devour her instead, or he could have prevented her, stopped her. But he's made his choice. Kaneki has made his choice, and I'm not gonna be the one to judge him for it, because who am I to judge him for it? That's his decision. It's so odd how Rize just keeps on talking about you were the one in this position. There's no such thing as fate. It's just circumstance led you here. Who are you? Who are you to speak? Maybe it's the author. Maybe the author is trying to, I don't know, maybe show me some kind of perspective. Maybe he was the one speaking through Rize. Maybe. I don't know. I can't exactly deduct that or deduce that from him. I don't know him. So I am tired of every single one of these fuckers, man. I really am. I don't want to deal anymore in the matters of their emotion, of their emotional baggage, of how they feel with each other, how they feel about their enemies. I don't care. I really don't. I'm tired. I am absolutely tired. I hate every single one of them. I really do. But what about Hinami, right? You know, I was happy for her. The fact she looked beyond revenge. She just wanted to be with her mother and father. She just didn't want to be alone anymore. But of course, Toka would be the first one to allow a child and bring her to a battlefield. What a perfect way to teach your young how fucked up this world is. It's funny because Amon said that. Amon said how cruel and messed up the world is. But then Kaneki goes on to say, well, it's not, the world isn't messed up, the world isn't cruel, it's the humans and ghouls. Well, the only reason why you think it's messed up because you're capable of thinking. If you were just like all of the animals of the world, then you wouldn't even grasp those concepts. You just accept it because you are being hunted down. And the first thing that you'll always have in your mind is survival. If you gave a sheep the ability to think, if you gave a wolf the ability to think, what do you think happens? They wouldn't be any different to us. They would not be. Uh, I don't know what solution you can propose in a world like Tokyo Ghoul. I cannot find a solution. I'm hoping that maybe one day they'll be able to find something about ghouls that could make them coexist with humans. But I know how idealistic that is. I know how wishful thinking that is. Always trying to find the good in something. But then I also hate that cynical side of me. I hate both. I really do. I don't want to deal in these labels and these terms anymore of good, bad, sides. They're all just part of nature. They're all just part of nature. They're all just part of this world. Ever since deep time, it's always been a system that's been in place. It doesn't care about empathy. It doesn't care about sympathy. It doesn't care about love. It doesn't care about your choices. It doesn't care if you're evil or if you're good. It doesn't care what fucked up thing you did. It doesn't even care what good thing you did. It just is. That's always the system of this world, and that's the system of Tokyo Ghoul's world. It's either you or them. And you simply just pick a side. Who do you want to be with? I am mentally tired. I really am. I really am. And I fucking hate every single character in this anime. I really do. I liked Yoshimura, the manager of Anteku, and I even liked a little bit of Amon and Yomu. But they're not any different. They're not any different from Kaneki. They're not any different to Jason. They're not any different to Mado. They're not any different to anyone in this world. They're all just a result of the consequences of somebody. So odd when they say that an individual's incompetence is the reason why suffering is proliferating throughout the world. Really? That is such an odd thing to say. A system that already has suffering a part of it, you find someone to blame it. I really fucking hate every single one of you. I really do. You are one amazing anime, Tokyo Ghoul. But because of it, I fucking hate you. Have a blessed day, afternoon, evening, everybody. I'll see you all in the next anime that I'll probably do. Probably find something to talk about before I move on to the next one. Maybe something I want to keep on talking about Tokyo Ghoul. But this is it for me. Sayonara.